Hey folks, hope you're all doing well. I want to jump on and I want to record a very short video, but a video that, I'm just having one of those days, but some of you guys might find this useful. And it's such an important part of business, and I think no one actually teaches you this, and they certainly don't teach you in business school this. I can tell you now for a fact. They don't teach you a lot of things in business school, but they don't teach you this, right? But it's something that all of us go through, all of us struggle with, and all of us have times where we're like, what is going on, right? Seriously. It's basically, you think everything is running fine. You're like, yes, everything's perfect. All systems are go. There's no issues. I've submitted all my information to all these online tools, platforms, revenue. Everyone's happy. And you get a letter. And it's like, this is due by this date. And then you get another letter about something else. And it's like, we have determined X, Y, and Z, and you need to verify this until such time as we're holding your money, or we're shutting your account down, or, your account has been deactivated because we believe you have circumnavigated our policies on ads or something. And it's like, I've never ran ads. I haven't had a chance, but I'm a genuine business and I've uploaded my information, right? It hasn't happened to me today, but you can tell that has happened to me in the past. Likewise, I had letters from revenues basically saying like, we do not believe X, Y, and Z, and you need to show us by this date or we will do. It's like, are all these government agencies and are all these like Facebook, like Amazon, like everyone, Shopify hasn't done this yet. Are they all there just to make the life of business people, of entrepreneurs, of those of us that, are trying to build stuff? Are they just there to make it awkward? I think they are, honestly. Like, who comes up with these things? Like, I think if we trace it all back, I think it must be, like, I don't mean this in a bad way, please. And if any of you listen to this, this is not aimed at you personally, but like, the civil service, like, it is the least entrepreneurial thing out there. It is like, if everything was ran like the civil service, there would be, well, actually there'd be nothing, because it doesn't know how to do anything apart from spend money and create huge inefficiencies in everything it does, right? There's different studies in Ireland you can look at, and like, anything the state is involved in is hugely expensive, out of kilter with the rest of the economy, and wholly inefficient, right? But when you think of Amazon, when you think of Facebook, all these things, right? A lot of times when they start giving us sellers or us users a hard time, a lot of it comes back to like regulations that government bodies have put in place that mean that they have to do something or they'll be fined. And then they just basically are like, oh God, we don't want to be fined. Let's just letter the law. Let's just do what the government says, or there's like no gray area at all. There's no like pick up the phone chat. It's just literally like black or white, right? Like know your customer, for example, or what else? Like I said, the revenue thing. Like it's just, if you can't prove by a certain date, like all these other things happen. Yeah, I think it all comes back to the civil service. It really does. But look, we can't change that. I don't think any of us have it in us to change the civil service. The civil service can't change the civil service, right? At the same time, I think as business owners, I think we have to accept that when we think everything is going perfect, like in business, there is always going to be these problems. And basically we just need to realize that, accept that, and realize it's part of the game, and become like hugely efficient problem solvers, right? Like sometimes trying to solve these problems is like, guys, I've just shown you this, you've accepted it, and now a day later you've sent me the same thing saying you don't accept it. Like, these things would frustrate the best person, but as business owners, there's no way to avoid it. I've seen this with so many of the people that come into our community, into the academy. Like I've seen it where, they've come up against problems and it has caused their account to be shut down, or it's caused their business to be paused, all this kind of stuff. And that's it. That's life. It happens to all of us. So if you're deciding to actually set up a business, just accept it's going to be this way. Accept that there's always going to be problems. Accept that there's always going to be things that you have to overcome, and there's no way out. There's nothing else you can do. It's just the way it's going to be, right? I feel like that's my rant for today, but I think it's important. Don't go into this expecting it to be all rosy, everything perfect all the time. You are going to face these problems. consistently. I'd say on average, like, I don't want to say 3 or 4 times a year. Like, it's probably much more consistent. And like the reality is, the bigger your business gets, the more you do, the more these problems you get, the more these things you have to overcome, find solutions for, find workarounds. It's just consistent all the time. You're just going to be doing that. And as you grow as a business owner, like I'm still growing, like if you grow as a business owner and get better at it, your ability to deal with these things will get easier. But also, like, you'll probably get better at like employing people that like their whole thing is just dealing with that thing. Whereas like for us as entrepreneurs, as business owners, especially as small businesses, like we're doing the marketing, we're doing the product development, we're doing the creative, we're doing the sourcing, we're doing all of it, right? And I'm not saying we're meant to be a master of all trades, jack of none. No, that's not it. Like, you can become very good at things, but that initial momentum to get your business going, you're going to deal with these other little problems. And these are things that you don't necessarily know a whole lot about. And you're just going to have to sit there, you're going to Google, you're going to have to push on and overcome it, right? And maybe that's why someone's good working with other people. People have done it before, because it really helps, because you can say, look, this happened to me before, send this, and this, and they'll accept it. Don't say that, or don't send that. If you send that, they'll reject it, and all this kind of stuff. But no matter what, guys, it just keeps happening. Just keeps happening. But yeah, that's business. That is business, and that's part of the game, and we have to learn. We have to learn to accept it and just embrace it and go with it. And like say, how do we solve this problem, and just solve it. Yeah. That's business, and just realize it. And when it does happen to you, and if it hasn't happened yet, it will. When it does happen to you, just realize it happens to everyone else. And this is the time for you to stand up, put on your thinking cap, Google whatever you need to Google, or ChatGPT it, or whatever, and overcome it, push on, keep going, smile until the next problem, and then you overcome that as well. That's it. Let me know in the comments if you have any of these problems that you've solved, or what has been like your biggest curveball that you didn't see coming. Really interested to know. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.